If you ask around what the best Contra game is, a lot of people would say Contra 3 The Alien Wars. Of course they'd be wrong because it's Contra Hardcore, but joking aside, Contra 3 is undeniably a great Contra title. Number 2 on our list, to be exact. But were you aware that there's multiple ports of the game across numerous consoles and handhelds? Yeah, there's more than one way to play this awesome action-packed run-and-gun masterpiece. So today we're going to look at some of those odd ports and see what the best 5 ways are to play Contra 3 The Alien Wars. Number 5. Number 5 on this list is Contra Alien Wars, the arcade version. In the early 1990s, Contra 3 the arcade game hit arcades in Japan and a few limited releases here in the US as well. This game had 2 extra levels not seen in any other port, and is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars if you see it. So check it out. Okay, just kidding. There actually is no arcade version. So, we only have 4. Number 4. The 4th entry in this list is Contra The Alien Wars on Gameboy, released in 1994. This was also called Contra Spirits in Japan and Pro Protector 2 in Europe. This port was developed by Factor 5 and left out a lot of content. Being on the original Game Boy, some limitations were present that made it harder to stay true to the original Contra 3 Alien Wars. This game removed the ability to carry 2 weapons at a time and switch between them. It also removed level 4 from the game, and levels 2 and 5 no longer rotate or zoom in or out. This is obviously due to the fact that the lack of Mode 7 support that the Super Nintendo was known for. In case you're unfamiliar with what Mode 7 graphics are, it was the ability to scale sprites, allowing them to be zoomed in and out and even spin. It was a big deal back in the day. There were also numerous bosses removed from the game, and other sections completely cut out. But even with all these missing content and subpar graphics, it's nice to see a port come to a handheld. Number 3. Next on our list is another handheld version of Contra, and this one is called Contra Advanced The Alien Wars EX, also released in Japan as Contra Hard Spirits. This is a very interesting port, which came out a whole 10 years after the original port on the Super Nintendo. Late that year as well, November of 2002. This port has much improved graphics over the earlier Game Boy port, and also this time includes level 4, but still removed the overhead sections where the screen is rotating around. This port is interesting because rather than using the overhead levels like Super Nintendo, they use 2 side-scrolling levels, taken straight out of Contra Hardcore on Genesis. Yep, the train stage here, and the final level stage here are both direct copies from a Genesis game. Pretty neat though to go with these stages. Much like the original Game Boy port, the ability to carry 2 weapons is gone, and even went a step further and took out the bombs from the game, which I'm not sure why. The graphics are great looking though, and almost on par with the graphics of Super Nintendo. Number 2. The second best port of Contra 3 The Alien Wars comes from a pirated game. Yeah, this port was not okay by Nintendo or Konami, that's for sure. This is Contra The Alien Wars on the original Nintendo NES. That's right, someone decided to take the NES version and take it a step back and port it to a weaker machine, the Nintendo NES. I mentioned this in the top 10 Contra hacks video as well, because I think it's just awesome. We all love Contra 3 The Alien Wars, so to see somebody's take on this in 8 bits is just funny and entertaining. The game for the most part stays faithful to the original on the Super Nintendo. There's a 2-player simultaneous play, but again you can only carry 1 gun per player, but at least there's bombs this time. The game has a lot of flickering and the graphics aren't great, but come on, this is the Alien Wars on the NES. This is cool. The game has 6 levels, including a solid attempt at level 4, the crazy motorcycle and plane level. They even do the overhead level, minus the spinning and zooming, but just one of them for some reason. To make up for the missing other level, you play level 3 twice, which is a little bit odd. I look at the big fuzz boss here. So intimidating, right? The final level is the alien lair, which has a Kimkoa boss, as well as the metal flying alien boss, but leaves out the heart fight for some reason. Jaggerford is here as well as the final boss, and even the fight with the brain, just being a little bit different. Well, if you've played all the Alien Wars games so far and want to try something different and fun, then check out this port on the NES. I wonder which port of Alien Wars 3 is number 1. Well, if it isn't obvious to you already, then it's going to be Contra 3 The Alien Wars on a super friggin' Nintendo. One of the best Contra games ever made. This game introduced Contra as being more boss focused with cool huge boss fights and fast running gun action as a staple to the series. Coming out in 1992 on the Super NES, this game had it all. This was Konami at its prime. This version of the game had all the aspects mentioned earlier in the video, as well as a ton more. There's 2-player co-op, you have the ability to hold 2 weapons at a time and switch between them anytime you want, which became a huge mechanic in many Contra games to come. The bombs here are also available. You ride cool tanks, you ride cool motorcycles, you can even hang off missiles while fighting bosses. This game was the greatest. With only being 6 levels long, they really had to jam-pack these levels with content to make up for the lack of the usual 8 levels in Contra. And they did that pretty well. There's boss fights around every turn and non-stop action throughout the game. I know most of you have, but if you've not played Contra 3 The Alien Wars on Super Nintendo, please do so. You won't be disappointed. This port can be found digitally on some Nintendo consoles, as well as being included in the Nintendo Super NES Mini as one of the playable games. So there's plenty of ways to play this gem, so don't pass it up. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you want to see the full video review of any of these games, click up here to the top right to watch our Contra playlist. If you want to see the video about the game in number 1 spot, click down here to the bottom right. Thanks for watching and have a great day.